Hey guys, Mango7Roll here. Welcome to part 3 of the Diadem Guide. This will be the final one unless I missed something and you guys want me to add it. This one's focused on unspoiled nodes, which are used for gatherer scripts. Super important, and this is probably 5 times as fast as anywhere else if you have both mining and botany leveled, which you should have. I unfortunately do not fish much, so I can't give you too much information there, but I know this is great for fishing as well. If you're really curious about it, I can look into it and experiment and put a video on it. Just let me know. I do have fishing leveled, I just don't do it. So yeah, we have the cheat sheet open here, and we want to look at the middle there. That's where we're going for. So every 2 hours, 2 a.m., 4 a.m., and on we go. And unspoiled node spawns. They last for 2 hours as opposed to 53 or so minutes outside of the diadem. So that's fantastic. And there's 2 in the northeast, 2 in the southeast, and 2 in the northwest. I could go on about them for a bit, but I think it's easier just to show you exactly how to do it and where to go. Otherwise, it might get a little confusing, and I don't think it's necessary to be confusing. One thing I want to notice, though, in the diadem cheat sheet there, you can see the red dots with lines bringing the islands together. That's where you want to go. That brings you to the lower area. So yeah, without further ado, let's go back to Final Fantasy here. Get out of G pose. If I can figure out how. And we look at the map here, and it is almost 2 Eorzean time in the top right there. At 2 o'clock Eorzean time, southeast mining spawns. So that'll be down here. And you can see the Aethro gap right here. It's in the cheat sheet, so you want to head to this gap. You fly all the way down, just interact with it, it'll throw you down. You cannot do this until you complete the exploratory missions. And then you do not want to jump down, very important. You want to go over here right to the snail. And make sure you're a miner too as well, and make sure you have 600 GP. So we want to talk to the snail here and trigger the snail's energies. It's not always active, but if it's not active, just wait. Like I'm going to have to do because I just missed it. So you just sit here for a little bit. The unspoiled nodes are up for 2 hours, so it really doesn't matter. I'm really surprised nobody's here with me right now. Usually there's a ton of people each time, and I get to check out people's glamours, which is, again, my favorite part. We have a bunch of fishers in this one, too, and a couple battle people, so I'm really confused at that. But either way, we get our thing. We turn on Truth of the Mountain and/or Forest, and we go to where the Unspoiled is. Make sure you have Collector's Glove as well on. Nothing can see you when you have the Snail Stealth. Your regular stealth will not work, so you need the snail one, and it only lasts 3 minutes. So let's go to the node here. We have Gathering Attempt +1, so that is massive. You don't get that outside of the diadem on these things, really. And you also don't have to do the initial hit to reveal something. So already we're two Gathering Attempts up. You would be outside. So we'll get 4 out of this minimum, I believe. And so yeah, we'll just go right into it. So let's get some adamantite ore. You want to do Discerning Eye first, and then Impulsive Appraisal. And then you look up at the top here to see if you procced, because when Impulsive Appraisal you use it, you have a 30% chance to proc Discerning Eye again. You'd see the icon up there. We didn't get it, so we'll just go back to Discerning Eye, and then we'll use Impulsive again. And you need 600 GP for this. We didn't get it again, so we'll just do Discerning Eye and Methodical Appraisal. This time we'll switch it up to Methodical. Then we have 482 collectability, which is more than enough. 95% chance to get it with my gear. Even with bad gear, you usually have around 90%, so it's really not a worry. So we'll get 4 out of here, and that's the minimum we could have got. We could have got an additional 2 if we had proc that 30% chance, but we didn't. So this one always confuses me. We have 40 seconds left, and we need to get back up. I think it's over this way. Where are we right now? Okay, so it's over this way here. Oh, there it is. So this is the hardest of the areas. I always get lost. You need to find this little walkway here and get back up to where that snail is. You want to switch to Botanist too, and that does not kick you out of stealth. Or it does kick you out of stealth, so don't do it like I did right there. There's often a tree here, so this may be the worst example of what not to do in the history of the world. And we made it. So we go back over to the snail here. And it's almost, or it's not even close to 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. right now, which is when the botany one spawns. You also want to use a cordial again, just so you aren't at the node without being at 600 GP. And this is definitely the weirdest diadem I've ever been. I've never been the only one gathering here. I guess that just goes to show not everybody knows how to do this yet, or maybe people don't want to, I'm not sure. But I hope to get more people out here because I do have fun doing this too. This is a good time to text your friends, chat with your free company mate, do some dancing. I like dancing. Although usually, again, like I said, this is my glamour scope out time. I love looking at people's glamours, especially when they put effort into it. Mine isn't the best, but I like it. It's very basic. I really, really like the basic glamours. Exactly what I look like in person, right? So we just sit here for a little bit. So we're getting pretty close to 4 o'clock here. Make sure you have your Truth of the Mountain up so you don't miss it, or Truth of whatever. And I usually like to hit the snail at around 3:50 or 10 minutes before the timer, just to save a little bit of time. You can also do things like gather around the diadem in between timers, but I just don't. I like to relax and do it, so I usually watch TV, talk to friends, all that sort of thing in between. So I'm just gonna chill up here and wait. We've got 3 minutes and it'll spawn. Again, every 2 hours, alternating between botany and mining, so if you don't have both, you can only do one every 4 hours. Still better than outside at every 4 hours, to be honest. So it's way over here backwards. I may have gone too quickly, or too early. I jumped the gun. My stealth only has a minute left, so I may run out, but oh well. It might actually be faster to die to get to the next place, that's why I'm doing it, I swear. So I have 600 GP, so it's the same thing here. Make sure you have Collector's Glove. Let's hit Crown Bush. Discerning Eye. Impulsive Appraisal. And we didn't proc, so Discerning Eye. Impulsive Appraisal. And we procced, so we'll use Single Mind. And then we'll use Methodical Appraisal. And that'll give us another gathering attempt. So we'll have the same amount as last time. We'll have 4, I believe. Because last time had a +1 gathering attempts node. Almost out of space. I'm going to toss some more things out. Sorry if you're watching. Might be painful. So we have to do the confusing. Oh, not so confusing. We're right at the walkway this time. We're set. So I'm going to toss these out. And now, because we just got the botany one, that means the area is resetting again, and it goes counterclockwise. We are in the southeast now, so that means the next zone is going to be the northwest or northeast. We'll switch to mining here, and this one is the weirdest setup. It's the one people often get lost in. The tornado to get back up is right over here. Use a cordial as well. Again, I always forget to do that, especially when I'm talking to you guys. And it pops us right back up to the gap where we started. So now we head over here. Another thing I like to do is put notifications where the gaps are, because so many people don't understand, and I feel like putting them there will help them out. So I just try to do that every time I'm in here. So we'll do the fly all the way over here. And we'll do the exact same thing. I'm going to go through it in each location just in case. You never know. I want to cover everything. I don't want you guys missing a single thing. I know when this first came out, without the cheat sheet, it was so confusing. Nobody knew what they were doing, especially people who had not seen the previous diadem, and I'm one of those people. I was definitely not playing at that time. So again, thank you so much to the creator of this sheet. It just helps me so much. So we hit the gap here. And we have an hour to kill, so again, we could have spent it mining or gathering. That would have been the smart thing to do. You could probably get another 10-15 rosemary at least. Don't use your King's Yield 2 though in the downtime, because obviously you're going to need it later. So we're almost ready for the next set. We should be minor now, 6 o'clock northwest, or northeast. And next time the snail lights up, we'll get it and start going. And exact same strategy as the last one. Every 2 hours, you get a unspoiled node. You get 4-ish on average, probably 5-ish maybe. We put up Truth of the Mountain. Put up Collector's Glove. And we wait. Usually this one spawns right in front of me here, so I'm just gonna wait right here. And there we go. I've been here a few times, so we go to it too. Let's get some adamantite ore this time. We'll do Discerning Eye, Impulsive Appraisal. There are also maybe better rotations, but I really like this one. It's super simple. I found myself screwing up a lot of the other rotations, and this one's fun. I like procking. So we got a proc, so we'll single mind, and then Methodical Appraisal for the final one. We'll be at 482 again, and we'll get our 5, I think, from this one. Yeah, 5 unspoiled, and that's insane. Like, if you've ever farmed unspoiled nodes outside of here, you'll know how long it takes to get 5, and how frustrating it is, and how far you have to run, and how much teleporting you have to do. It's just not worth it. This is so easy and so lazy, and I love easy and lazy, so. And the best part is you get to gather with other people around, and I find that a lot of fun. And I know that doesn't make sense because there's nobody here this time, but usually I talk to some people, I have a little chat, I check out their glamours, you know. So we'll run all the way back here. And do not, I think I've said it before, but don't switch to your botany one until you're at the spot. Like, you know you need to switch to botany, but if you switch here, you'll get booted out of stealth and you might die, and that's very bad. So yeah, use a cordial, and we'll see you in about another hour at Eorzine time. Okay. I had to bring you guys back here. We finally met somebody else. I'm so happy. We met Air's Song, and she's gonna run away from me. We gotta chase her. I want to see her glamour. Come back here. We're just gonna go follow her out here. Why not spend some time? So she's Zoe's friend too. That's another thing you guys should be doing if you're not, just as a heads up. I can probably get into that in another video too. So she's got some awesome goggles on. I can't really see. Oh, I guess I can do that. Pretty good glamour. Definitely theme oriented correctly, which is nice. And I really like Auras. I love their face. I love their makeup. But the problem is you can really screw up an aura, and I find a lot of people do. But this person definitely didn't, so kudos to you, Air Song. I'm really happy with your aura. Let's go back. You want to go back? No, she's just going to sit there. Back we go. See, you feel like you're in a party. You're in a dungeon for gatherers. And we're back here. I just hit the snail. We're in the last one in the northeast section, so we're going to run off here with Truth of the Forest on and Collector's Gloves. Another thing too, I can't remember if it's in the northeast or northwest, but one of the unspoiled, or 2 of the unspoiled nodes I think have Korth and tea leaves. Those are often better to get than the scrip gear, or than the scrip items. Because they're worth about 3,000 each, and I use them for a lot of things, especially leather. They work to make skins into leather. So yeah, that's definitely something to look into too. They're not in this one, so oh yes, they are in the top left here, or top here. So you might want to get Korth and tea leaves here instead of unspoiled if you want. We'll do unspoiled though because we are out of inventory space, so we're gonna toss some of these out again. Just so we can get more. So let's do Crown Brush here. So we do the same thing. We do Discerning Eye, Impulsive Appraisal, and we proc. So we use Single Mind, Impulsive Appraisal again, and we proc again. So we use Single Mind and then Methodical Appraisal. Your last appraisal should always be Methodical Appraisal. And we're at 482, and I think we get a lot out of this one. I'm going to have to throw some things out. I think it was 6 or 7. So we have 2 so far. You obtain nothing out of 96%. Thanks, Square. So that would have been 3 if I had hit it. 4, 5. So essentially 6 scrip items from one node. That is just fantastic. You can't get anywhere near that outside. The max you can get outside is 4 as far as I'm aware. So we're gonna head back here. I often just suicide here because it's often faster, but depending on your starting point, it isn't. I don't remember where I spawned, so I'm gonna run back and show you guys where all the things are here. I have 5 seconds left on my thing too. So we have the snail here, and the way back up is always near the snail, so it's usually right behind it. So we're going to switch back to mining here. We're going to use a cordial. And up we go. Now, again, we're back to mining, so that means we're in a new location. Counterclockwise, so we're at northeast, so that means we're heading to northwest. And again, I like to put little markings here to tell people where they are, so that's where it is now. We're going to take a little detour first, actually. We haven't picked up a reward yet, so we're going to go grab that. I like to forget that, and it's definitely not worth forgetting. You get a lot of cool things out of it. You get these steel sky spoils, and you can trade those in for stuff like clusters, which is what I do. I'm not sure if it's right. I haven't looked into it, but I run out of clusters a lot, so I use that. And you also get materia, which is fantastic for stockpiling for the expansion. And you'll also need them, too, if you haven't gemmed your gear yet. So over here, it's usually way up in the air. It took me a while to find it my first time. Definitely just look up when you're at it and you'll find it. So here we go. We get our mission reward. And we get Craftsman Command and a Guile. I got Grasp and Cunning for my last one too. Good little bonus there. There's also collectors there you can talk to for turning in your spoils. And down we go to the last Aether gap here. I'm just going to do one of the 2 here because I think you get the idea by now. I'm going to have to toss some more things out. Let's toss some Crown Brush out. So we have 30 minutes to get away, so we're just going to sit at the snail. We have no friends, so we're just going to sit very sad all by ourselves here. And gaze at the stars, I guess. Also, just as a random tip, just in case you didn't know, I have some time, so I might as well do it. You can type /change pose, and it changes your sitting position. And that works for a lot of things. It works for your sleeping position, your standing position, all that sort of thing. So if you see, I change every time, and then you'll default every time you sit or every time you do stuff like that. Just for example, a standing pose here too. Once she gets into a relaxed pose, and then you can change it to this one if you want, which is just the default. Or you can put your hands behind your head, or your hands crossed like that, or you could even put it in your pocket. So just a handy little feature. I figure I throw that in there. Who knows? Maybe I'll blow your mind. You couldn't figure out how other people were doing that. Well, now you can. So there you go. And we're at 10 o'clock here, so it's snail time. And again, I don't remember if I mentioned it, but snails are the only way you can stealth here without them seeing you. Another thing I might have forgot to mention, I can't remember, never do any battle things in the Diadem. If somebody's like, hey guys, the boss fate's up, let's go do it. Don't do it. You'll fail it like 99% of the time, and it'll just be a huge waste of time. Just skip it completely. Even the emergency missions, you'll fail 99.9% of them. I've never succeeded one. I tried for a while. I gave it my all. Everybody else was doing it, and I felt bad just being the only gatherer there. So I gave in, and I chipped in, and we failed miserably every time. So here we go, our last Unspoiled. So we get Gathering Attempt +1 again. You can really see how common those are here, and it adds so much when you get so few Unspoiled nodes. So we'll do Discerning Eye, Impulsive. We didn't proc it, so Discerning Eye and Impulsive again. And we procced it, so we'll do Single Mind, Methodical. I really like how there's kind of like a battle system to this and a rotation. It makes me feel more accomplished after I do something, if that makes sense. Like having a random proc in your gathering is a really fun idea. Something I think a lot of other games really need to add because it adds a lot to the experience, even though it's something as simple as that. So I'm going to run out of space. We'll toss this one out. Oh, we got our friend back here for a cameo at the end of the video. Always makes me happy seeing people. We're going to give her a good cheer, because that's what's important. And then we're going to wave farewell. So that was part 3 of the Diadem Guide. Thank you so much for watching again. I hope I covered everything. I think I did in the Gathering Diadem. I didn't cover the battle one again. I don't think it's worth doing for Gil, so I'm going to skip it. Thank you so much again. I appreciate all the thumbs up, all the subscribes, all the likes, all that sort of thing. It really helps. If you have any ideas or thoughts you want on a next video, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep along my original thought train. Again, I just wanted to throw this one in here since I thought it was so important. So yeah, have a great day, guys, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thanks.